Welcome back to my channel, DebtFree CF. This is my November check-in, and you'll see that I have added a paycheck. I put in, because for some reason I didn't have it in the other one, what the normal unadjusted amount for rent is from my roommate partner, and then I've filled in quite a few other transactions. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I've gotten a second paycheck on the 9th because the first paycheck was a few days before October. So in the month of November, I'm going to end up with 3 paychecks, which is kind of nice in the 5-week month, but also helps going into the holidays when I've got a couple extra things, although I don't spend a whole lot on Christmas stuff or gifts, but just to have a little bit if I decide to do that is always a good thing to have on hand. I work Monday through Friday regardless of if it's a holiday for the most part. I mean, I can take a holiday off, but I get paid more if I work it. So on the day after Christmas, which would be a holiday, I'll be working. Thanksgiving Day, I'll be working, so I'm not going to be traveling for Thanksgiving dinner. I have in the past, but I'm going to be attending a concert with my partner on the Friday and Saturday immediately after Thanksgiving, so I'm going to work on Thanksgiving. Anyway, get out of that. The groceries here, I've started calculating some of the different payments. A few months back, or like really getting into the swing of it in the last 2 months, I've left a debit card for what's supposed to be treated as a shared account between myself and my partner, left that debit card in a place that we both have access and can trade off whenever somebody's going to get groceries using the exact same card, so that I have a better idea of what groceries look like for the two of us rather than individually just guessing that I'm paying half, just to make budgeting and accounting a little bit more accurate and accountable for what I owe. And so there's been a couple of different transactions. I'm already a little bit higher in the month than I would normally anticipate, and part of that is because of I had to go pick up some allergy meds, which I don't always need every month, and I also, like I said, didn't have the most accurate of accounting, so I've always just been keeping track of my half and not the entirety. So this left hand side over here with the 150 should actually reflect probably 300 because my partner and I are both contributing 150 to the account each month for shared expenses. I don't know if we're going to hit the 300 given that we're halfway through and we're under 150, but we'll see. Already put in one transaction for gas. I had mentioned that I have gas cards, so I have filled my car, or the different car that I drive. One gets gas cards most of the time, and then if I borrow my partner's car for one reason or another, then I'll pay off the debit card. So I've got that transaction in there as well. And then even though on one of the grocery purchases I had allergy meds, I needed some more and they weren't at that particular grocery store, so I had to stop somewhere else. So I've got that amount in there as well. And then this is the updated as of right now so far what's been paid for pets. So a couple different transactions for Chewy.com. When they mail the package, they charge you. So a couple different packages came based off of what fit in the box, and then the licensing fee. And then this is pending for when there's dog sitting the weekend after Thanksgiving, but I've already allotted that because it's pending. Then insurance didn't change. Oops. The calculation here, there's 2 more added costs, or 2 transactions. One was a post office and one was something else for a tip. And that pretty much fills in all of the transactions so far in the month. I've been traveling for 2 weekends, so I haven't even been home. And then I'll have a weekend off where I'm not traveling this upcoming weekend, and then the weekend after Thanksgiving be out of town. So in the financial part of groceries, that may go up, and like I said, I'll probably add this to make it the 300, which is the accurate amount for the shared, as long as it's more or less accurate that all the transactions are being put on that shared card. And then I had mentioned last video that there were some interest amounts over here that have been filled in, and this seems like it's not accurately auto-calculating. Like this didn't actually do, didn't do the summary because I shouldn't be in the negative now. Alright, so let's fix this. So in case you aren't sure about how to get formulas to work, let me just clear this out and kind of start over. So you use the equal sign to tell the program that it's going to do some math. So the cell itself is going to be set equal to the formula of this particular cell, which is my income, plus the cell immediately below it, which is the amount of rent that my roommate and partner is contributing, since the rent check comes out of my account. And then when I hit enter, it will stop contributing to the formula. I can see in this upper corner area what the actual value is. So when I hit enter, that should fill in the cell with the value, which is exactly the case. And I guess my formulas are probably off. I'm guessing that it has something to do with the auto calculation not copying and pasting, as I copied and pasted some of these numbers to make it the text a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to go in and fill in like this particular column. If I had adjusted anything, there's no formula, it's just a number. So this is going to be equal to, and I can also use in the upper right hand corner the functions button. So for example, sum, and then it's asking what, and then I can click and highlight everything and say the sum of all of these cells. So it gives the range of cell C9 to cell C20. And then when I hit enter, it's going to give the value. The value shouldn't have changed in that particular instance, but in case it did, and then I want my auto-generated results at the bottom to also reflect. So this particular cell should be set to the expenses, or sorry, the income section. So I hit enter, and then this particular cell should be equal to the expenses summary. And then I hit enter, and then this particular cell should be equal to the difference between the two. So my income minus my outgo, or my expenses, and then I should be pretty close to zero. In this particular case, I'm still in negative because of my goal for retirement. If I stuck with my minimum goal of 600, then I'll definitely be in the clear. I do want this to be a little bit higher because I'm getting towards the end of the year and I need to max it out. And so I'm just going to leave it at the 900 estimate that I wanted because I'm still going to have one more paycheck. So if my one paycheck, for example, is 1,000 or 1,200, then it'll cover the 900 plus the make this positive, where instead of being in the negative almost 300, I will be in the positive about 600. So that's kind of the breakdown over there. On the right hand side, I've got my sinking funds, or kind of the things that I know are coming and going, trying to keep a track of what's in the joint account for some of the joint expenses. So for example, groceries is a joint expense, pet information is a shared expense, and at the very end of this month, after all of the payments for the vaccinations, there should be about, actually I guess this should probably be about 80 total, I would think. So this number may get adjusted. I know car insurance for sure is correct. Next month in December, I need to pay my $195 for my 6 months to my mom, and then I drive a 1994 Honda, so it's an older car. Likely that things will need to be replaced. I know that probably a boot or two on the front axle need to be changed, and I haven't really looked into it. I don't drive the vehicle all that much, so it's not like super pressing, but of course driving when you know that you have repairs necessary just makes it a little bit riskier. So there's always a fund in there for when it becomes crucial. And even though I don't go to the doctor often at all, I put some amount in here for medical. For the day-to-day, like buying some allergy meds, I don't worry about taking that out of medical. This would be more for an unexpected appointment copay, or a couple years ago I randomly broke my leg, so paying for the x-rays, whatnot, that kind of thing. So actually with my insurance, it was a pretty good deal. Ended up only costing about $300 for everything, which I would have always thought that a broken bone would be more expensive. So I just keep a couple hundred in there. I've got an emergency fund for the backup anyway. You know, which account or which category it falls into is neither here nor there. And then these calculations are a little bit off. I'll reconcile this at the end of the month with my final budget. But I just wanted to fill in some of the different transactions on the left side here with grocery amounts and some of the pet expenses. On the final part, the wrap up of the month, I will have the exact amount for how much vaccinations are. I did call around and it looks like it might actually be cheaper this year, not every year, but this year it might be cheaper to go to my vet and have them on. They have 2 days where they do discounted amounts for vaccinations, and then other days that they have discounted, they have a discounted rate for if you do other appointments like teeth cleaning and so forth. So I'm going to use them because the cats haven't had an exam except when they were about 8 weeks old, when it was a wellness check when they first got adopted. So now that it's been about 2 years, it's going to be a good idea just to kind of get them checked just for the sake of checking. My partner thinks one of them is getting to be overweight. I think he's just a much larger cat than the other cat, and so it's kind of strange to try to compare them because they can't be compared. They're different breeds, I'm sure, and one's male, one's female, so that increases the size difference. But they're going to get a wellness check and then all of the vaccinations, since it's easier to do a one-stop shop. All animals will get vaccinated by the vet. So this particular year, it'll be a savings on the 2 cats, but probably the same or maybe not even a savings on the dog. But to just make it handy, they're all going to go in one trip. So I'll put that in as soon as that's done as well. But yeah, it's always good to look around just to make sure that you're saving money if it's something where you purchase it, like, you know, it's off-brand, whatever. If you can save, I always recommend that. So this is my debt-free budget for the check-in for 2017 of November. If you like the video, give it that thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to get information about when the next video comes out, you can do that as well. And if you have any questions, let me know. I did make some adjustments, like somebody requested that the text be bigger, so let me know if there's something that's not clear or that you can't read, and I will answer that question. All right, take care. See you later.